Welcome to the Provo City Library podcast. I'm Erika Hill. I'm the Community Relations Manager.
And I'm Carla Gordon. I'm the Library Director.
And it is the beginning of the year.
It is.
In 2026, I have been told. So we thought that we would talk about our favorite things that we read last year, but with an asterisk for Carla. Tell them your asterisk.
Well, because I save all my favorite books, because I read a lot of books published in the current year. So anything published in 2025, I'm saving for our Best Books event. And usually we do a podcast kind of about that too.
We probably will.
Probably will. Anyway, so these are my favorite books that I read last year that were not published last year.
Cool. We did not get together super closely on this, so I did not follow that. And I don't present at Best Books, though maybe I will.
Care. Sure.
Because I could, though it would just be these same books again.
That's okay.
So you had a longer list than me because, again, we really compared notes before coming in. Do you want to go first?
Well, I would just like to throw out this one. Is it on your list?
It's on my list, and I wrote a really good intro thing about it.
Cool. Well, we shall talk about
notes.
it because the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon.
So good.
You know, people have been talking about this
years
for a long time because the first one came out in 2019.
Mm-hmm. And is it just basically what? I mean, there's 8.
I don't know. It seems
There's
like she
8
slowed down. There was
so far.
2 in 19. I was just looking it up.
Yeah.
2 in 19, 2 in 20, and then like 22, 20. Like so.
But they're getting longer.
They're getting
also.
longer, so it would make sense that it takes her longer to write one. But people kept talking about it, and so finally we just caved. And about at the same time, towards the end of the year.
Also, this year is when the audiobooks came out.
They were on Libby.
Mm-hmm. I think that was a big push.
I mean, that would be a big push for me too. Yeah. Anyways, they go ahead and talk about them. You have a whole paragraph.
I have a whole paragraph. Also, last year we did this where we timed ourselves.
Oh.
Do we want to do that again?
No,
that's fine.
I think I lost that game.
You did lose that game, so of course I'm the one that wants to play it again. Okay, yeah, here's my spiel about the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon by Beth Brower. At the beginning of this delightful series, Emma M. Lyon is in recent possession of Lapis Lazuli House, her wits, and little else. This diary-style fiction follows Emma as she makes new friends and enemies in the charming neighborhood of St. Crispian's, negotiates a hostile living situation with her uncle, who has spent her inheritance money on mourning robes, and gets up to general shenanigans with a haughty duke, a brooding photographer, and a truly unconventional vicar. Though I wouldn't classify this strictly as historical romance, fans of Jane Austen and Sarah Eden will get thoroughly lost in Emma's life. The gowns, the chaperones, the passive-aggressive invitations to afternoon tea, gruff men engaged in thoughtful bookbindery. If you enjoy a cast of quirky characters, this series has them to spare. Emma is a hilarious narrator and someone I'd love to be friends with in real life. I loved these books so much I immediately started them over after finishing all 8. 5 stars, definitely recommend.
They were really good, but she left off the really beautiful childhood nemesis.
Oh, I did leave off the really beautiful
this
childhood
is when you
nemesis.
Forget the men, the number of men. But anyways,
yeah,
it's delightful.
I love these books so much.
When I was kind of researching it just a tiny bit, there was a line that said that she's been compared to L.M. Montgomery. Oh. And I was thinking about like the Blue Castle and like loving that. And it does actually, I can see that comparison. And I like that. They're just fun. I found one person so far that has not liked them.
Oh, who?
Are they heartless? No.
Let's name them.
Just couldn't get into them, which is just, you don't have to like all the books. But I think universally people have been, it's just a nice palate cleanser. It's just not a lot of, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's depth to it. There really is. Like there's like real emotion, real relationships, stuff like that. But I don't know. In today's world, I think it's just nice.
I have also loved the way, because she's pretty committed to like every volume is 2 months of her life. I don't know if you knew that.
Is it 2 or 3?
It's 2.
It's 2. Okay.
Every volume is 2 months of her life. And so relationships feel like they're developing at a speed that would make sense. And And I mean, I'm 8 books in.
I'm only 6 books in.
Oh, that's right. Because
the thing happens in 6.
It's amazing. And I mean, like I said, I wouldn't strictly call this historical romance. Like,
no, it's kind of chick lit historical romance.
Mm-hmm. I'd go there. And so something that I loved about the first 5 or so is that she's developing these relationships with different people, and for a while you legitimately don't know. You know, like a lot of, if this were just romance, you know, from like the get-go, from the book blurb, you know if your team, like who's falling in love with who.
Team who.
And you don't know that. And at first I was like, I don't know who. I'm pretty solidly on
one of the teams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I know who it's not, because you didn't mention him in your blurb.
Right. It's not him though. I mean, I like Roland fine.
Cool.
Anyway,
do you want me to do my next one?
Yeah, you do your next one.
Because
that was a you that became a me.
It's okay. We shared. Okay.
Yeah.
Ornithologist Field Guide to Love by India Holton.
I've heard such good things about this.
Yes, this was absolutely delightful. So I kind of see it as, it's kind of steampunky in some ways. Like, it has that feeling because it takes place historically, but there's this science and there's a little magic in it too, like a tiny bit.
You read Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries?
No.
Probably.
But it probably is a lot like
similar
that.
vibe.
I felt like it was like the Parasol Protectorate, which was, the first one was Solace, and it was just, steampunk adventure kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This one is there's a competition for the birder of the year, and these 2 competing birders, ornithologists, are hunting England for these rare birds, and they end up having to work together, and you'll never believe that they hate each other.
The injustice of it all.
But they're kind of attracted to each other, and the side characters are hilarious. All these people looking for birds is really funny, and it was really cute.
Yeah,
it was a good one. And I didn't know until today actually that it's a trilogy. Mm-hmm. The second one is I have on hold. Came out in 25. This one came out in 24. That one 25, and there's one coming out in April. Oh, so, and I don't know if it follows the same characters or just the same world. Mm-hmm. But I know the second one's not about like birds, like it's something else that I don't remember because I didn't
some other niche nerdy hobby.
Exactly.
It's probably like botany.
Probably. I think there was something about a bird. No, there was the bird one. There was something about objects and a map maker, maybe. Anyways,
cartography feels like a niche thing. Like,
anyways, I think that they'll all
ripe
be good
for becoming romance.
I mean, romance can be found anywhere.
You can look for love in a variety of places.
Do you have all romances too? Evidently.
No.
Okay.
No,
I don't either.
I even have a book written by a man.
What?
I know.
Okay, do share.
But that's not the one that I was, because the segue that actually we were going to talk about finding love in various places, and I was going to say space.
Oh. Did you put atmosphere on your list?
I did put atmosphere on my list. You want to hear about it?
Yeah.
Now, especially because we're not timing it, I sound very canned. It's fine. I feel fine.
And I'm going to feel very not canned.
It's okay.
And all over the place. So go ahead.
I did think a lot about these words. So here we go. My next favorite book that I read in 2025 is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So it's 1984, and a routine mission to space has gone terribly, terribly wrong, and it's up to Joan Goodwin in mission control to get her friends home safely. The narrative of Atmosphere bounces back and forth between that space tragedy and 4 years earlier, where Joan is experiencing and studying and training to be one of NASA's first female astronauts. This book is partly a love letter to space, but as you'd expect from a Taylor Jenkins Reid novel, the relationships are paramount. Joan learns so much about herself, about life, and about love by studying with, fighting with, flying with, and ultimately working to save this core group of space cadets that have become something of a found family. As Joan's backstory gives more and more weight to the space accident, we realize what's at stake, and it's nothing short of everything. I loved these characters, and this book was the kind of heart-wrenching, emotional ride I've come to expect from this author.
Yeah, and I read that book too, and I really liked it. And then someone told me that one of her first ones was their favorite. Was it you? I don't know.
I haven't read One True Loves.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I just spoiled yours.
You did. You just spoiled it. But I went back because I've read almost everything she's written, but I hadn't read One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and so I decided to read that too. Did we want to talk more about Atmosphere?
Maybe.
Okay.
You read Atmosphere. You liked
it? I did really like it. I thought, again, you said the relationships are really strong.
Did it make you cry?
It's a good story. I can't remember if I just almost cried or if I legit cried. It was pretty.
I think I cried.
Yeah.
Because there's just a moment there where you're like, oh, is this not going? How's this going? Did Taylor Jenkins Reid turn into Kristin Hannah and I didn't know?
Maybe. Don't mock Kristin Hannah.
Oh, I mean, I love Kristin Hannah.
Know.
But Kristin Hannah will kill her characters.
She will.
She does.
Yeah.
Ruthlessly. No, with thought and heart.
Yes. And true to the story.
Yes.
And all of that.
Anyway, Atmosphere. Great.
Yeah. One True Loves, she actually puts her characters in a situation that cannot really end happily for everyone because it's about a woman who marries her high school sweetheart. They get married on their first anniversary. He goes off on a trip and is killed in a helicopter accident. And so she kind of retreats back to home and then falls in love with a childhood friend, like someone who knew them all, like both of them during high school and all that. And they fall in love. They're engaged, and dun, 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 the first husband comes back. So then she has to kind of figure out,
like, what?
Who are you in love with? There's a movie out right now that kind of, The Eternities.
Oh, is this story just being done over and over again?
But where it's not the same because the first husband or boyfriend or whatever dies, but it's I think the movie is about, anyways, it's about deciding who you're going to be with for eternity when you've had several people you've been in love with. Anyway, just who and how do people change? How do things change you? I don't know. It was really good. It was really good. Again, relationships really strong, but when you have one woman and two men.
By the way, I have to say, so the other night, I think that I've mentioned on here before that sometimes my son listens to these to go to sleep. So the other night, we had a cousin over for a sleepover. They're in their bedroom. I'm in my bedroom. And I just kind of overhear these. Now, this is a 9-year-old boy and an 11-year-old boy. And all of a sudden, I hear them talking about love triangles.
Were they listening to our podcast?
They weren't at the time. But, you know, I hear them saying whatever they're saying. And the next day, I was like, Calvin, why are you talking about love triangles? He's like, I don't know. I was like, do you know what that is? And he's like, I'm not sure. And like, we talked about it. And I said, where did you hear that? And he just looks at me straight in the face. Your podcast?
I mean, there are a lot of literary love triangles.
There are a lot of them.
One reason why I stopped reading young adult literature.
I think that actually that's probably why we were talking about it was it might be because I described Hello Stranger as having my favorite love triangle.
Oh, yes.
In a way I'm not going to spoil. Anyway.
It was really good.
So here we are on the Provo Library Cup podcast teaching 11-year-olds very appropriate things.
Hey, love triangles. Great. It's a thing. Cool.
What you got?
Well, you mentioned Kristin Hannah.
I did.
She did not come out with a new book last year, but my book club was reading The Four Winds, and I don't reread things often at all because I'm too busy reading things. But I love that book so much that I did reread it.
Was it just as gut-wrenching as ever?
I just cried again. It was so good.
It's so good.
But I don't know that everyone in my book club loved it.
Well,
because I think towards the end, someone was like, "Does this get any better? Like, or any happier?" Like, you can't deny that it's amazing writing, and you love the characters and everything they're going through. But it is a little bit of many punches in the face before you get to the end.
Yeah, you know, there's a kid version of that, sort of different.
I
read Esperanza Rising this year with Calvin, which was funny because he recommended it to me. You know, he's like, Mom, I really like this book, and I keep reading. And at one point, I turned to him and I'm like, Calvin, does anything good ever happen to these people? And he was like, well, yeah, but you have to keep reading. That's the difference between middle grade and because not every story from Dust Bowl Depression era ends happily.
It's
so sorry to say.
And actually, I included in my list a couple that I read with my daughter. So I read Charlotte's Web, which was a hit. She loved it. In fact, we read it twice in one weekend. Like I read it out loud to her, and it's short, so you could. But the first time we were going through it, we got a little ways in, and she's like, Mom, because they start talking about like Wilbur dying, and she's like, Mom, is someone gonna die in this book? And I hope I'm not spoiling anything for anyone.
At some point, there are some books like
if you don't know. Anyways, I was like, well, spiders don't live very long, so probably by the end of this book, Charlotte is going to die. And she's like, okay. And then we were totally fine. Like, she was fine. She just needed, and I hated to I was like, am I spoiling this for my child? But it was really interesting to watch her just be like, okay. And then, by the end, she just like the circle of life, new spiders, Wilbur's all right, like all of that. She was,
I feel like actually with kids, this could be a whole different podcast episode. But I think sometimes when reading with kids, they actually need that. We're in the 6th Harry Potter book with my kids right now. And my 8-year-old is sometimes on the fence about whether or not. But we were in a part where they're like in a lake, in a cave, and there's some kind of zombie-like creatures, and you haven't read them.
I might have read 6.
You've maybe seen this video, the movie?
I haven't seen
You haven't seen them? Anyway, and I knew that it was going to scare him, and so actually I paused the book and I said, Felix, okay, here's what you have to know. There's going to be this thing, and they're going to be okay. And he looked at me and he said, thank you for telling me that. And then we listened with no problem, no nightmares, anything like that. But when it's like a shock,
that's interesting.
It is more impactful. So kids
reading.
Kids don't care about spoilers.
They don't.
My kids have known about Dumbledore for a long. Anyway, look at us spoiling all the things.
I didn't read 7, so I don't even know you just spoiled that for me.
Oh, that's not in 7. That's in 6.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't remember 6. Maybe I didn't read it.
It's okay that Harry Potter hasn't had as big an impact on your life as it has on others of us.
We'll see.
That's fine.
I think it's your turn.
It's my turn. Should I talk about the one written by a man?
Yeah.
Okay. Which I have actually mentioned on the podcast before. But one of my favorite things that I read last year was The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. It's probably the thing that I recommended the most to various people. But funny enough, it's my shortest description because I didn't want to spoil too many things. Anyway, when an elderly gentleman dies in the coffee shop where she works, Cassie finds a book addressed to her. Without thinking too much about it, she puts the book in her pocket and goes home. That night, she and her roommate discover that the book has granted them the ability to open doors to new locations. Any door is every door, and suddenly the world is open to whoever has the book. Unfortunately, the Book of Doors isn't a secret, and some people want it and other magical books and will do anything to get it. What ensues is a non-stop adventure through space and time to stop the books from falling into the hands that would do the world harm. There are so many twists and turns along the way, and I loved nearly every second of the ride.
You liked this book.
I do.
A lot.
I do like this book a lot.
I liked this book.
Yeah. That was a we were talking about our rating scale. It's a 4.
It's a solid 4. I would recommend. It was good.
Me.
I enjoyed it. It was not a 5 for me.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. I had some people, I managed to finagle my life in such a way that the 2 book clubs I'm a part of read it in the same month.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah.
Who had the better conversation about it?
I mean, I don't want to throw our, I
I
don't want to cast aspersions on any book club members, but
it's fine.
Some people in what were like found the narration style sometimes off-putting or like that. There's one moment where it's like in the middle of an action scene, and then there's a comment that like, and she knew that he was in love with her. And she's like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about feelings here? Someone's about to get shot in the head.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there's some of that. But yeah, I loved it. And I got my husband to listen to it. And like, I kept just going down and sitting by him while he was listening and drawing. So I'm like, I want to listen to this book again. It was great. I loved it.
My husband would hate that because I'd sit there and I'd be like looking at him like, are you liking it? Do you like it? What do you think of it? Do you like
Reaction.
Yeah. He doesn't read the things I recommend.
That's funny.
Probably just for that reason. My next one on here is called The Book of Love by Kelly Link. And this was really interesting because it sounds Book of Love. Sounds like a romance. Mm-hmm. It is not a romance. It was a fantasy. There's 3 high school friends who weirdly just find themselves in a classroom in their high school with one of their teachers, but they know that they're dead, but they don't know what happened, but they feel alive, but they've been in a place that was not, like they feel like they've been dragged from this dark abyss place.
Like purgatory.
Yeah, but they've been pulled out, but there's 4 beings pulled out.
High school.
But there's only 3 of them because they died in high school. So they're kind of pulled out about the same time that they supposedly died. Mm-hmm. Anyways, they just end up being caught up in this kind of power struggle between these supernatural beings and trying to figure out how to keep themselves alive and trying to figure that out while still dealing with all the teenage stuff. They have very different lives, like family situations and relationships with each other, having grown up together. Anyways, it was really, really interesting and really good. Just
this book sounds weird.
It is a little weird.
Or like the premise is weird.
Yeah. No, it was written. It was written really well. There's some like you're jumping around different narrators, which is sometimes like you said, sometimes that's off-putting to people.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it listening. It can especially be kind of hard. This one didn't confuse me that way. I felt like they were really clear who was speaking when, and it's kind of one of the big themes in it is like when it's a zero-sum game, like only one person can win, and who is more justified to live based on your decisions and how much do you want to live. Anyways, it was really good. So. Book of Love.
Book of Love. Seems like a weird title for that book also.
Yeah.
Does it make more sense?
It does. But yeah, you'd have to read it.
Cool. Maybe I will.
Maybe you will.
That's usually how I decide what to read is I just talk to people whose taste I trust. Yeah. And then I read only good things.
Yeah. I think you'd like it.
Yeah. Cool. I'll put it on hold. Let's see.
Do you have one more?
I think I have 2 more, actually. I have 2 more I could talk about. They're both romances. One you've read, and I bet one you haven't.
Okay.
Which one do you want to hear about?
The one I haven't.
The one you haven't. This one, actually, I feel like we don't make these segues on purpose, but sometimes it's fun. The worst thing about this book is the title, because I don't feel like the title is very indicative of what actually happens in the book. Occasionally, I wonder if the title and maybe even the cover are decided long before the rest of the book is written.
Interesting.
Especially with these romance authors. This is my working theory.
Okay.
Have not confirmed. Anyway, I want to talk about Slow Burn Summer by Josie Silver. So, you've heard of ghost writers, but what about ghost authors? In this book, Kate has a problem. She's a 39-year-old recently divorced former actress in need of a job. Talent agent Charlie also has a problem. He represents a best-selling author who has written an incredible book but refuses to publish it with their own name attached. In short order, Kate is cast not in a television show, but as the public face for what becomes a runaway hit of a debut novel. With little warning, Kate finds herself giving interviews, going on podcasts, and doing book signings for a book she loves but did not write. So, would you believe that things get complicated and hilarious? Would you believe that Kate starts to fall in love with Charlie's whiskey cola eyes?
Oh my gosh.
I know. I know. Would you believe that there's a life-changing conversation held while wearing a T-Rex costume? There's all that and more in this easygoing romance about loving books and learning to love and trust people again. So this one was fun. Like I said, Slow Burn Summer is a terrible title for this book. I guess ostensibly it's a slow burn romance. And I mean, sure. But it's...
But something about pretending to be an author or something.
Yeah. There were... I could... Give me 3 days and I could come up with 14 better titles for this book. Nevertheless, I really like, especially the main character, the female lead, Kate, is just delightful. And what happens over the course of the book is that she charms so many people. She really, really loves the book. So it's not totally, and is like happy to represent it. And people sort of fall in love with her as like her personality and her, and they feel like they can sense her voice in the writing and everything. And then, of course, eventually it comes out that she's not the actual writer and it's a scandal.
Oh, no.
But she develops a relationship with the author of the book who she doesn't find out who it is until like very near the end. And it becomes clear why that person didn't want their name attached to the book and everything. And the relationship that they develop is so sweet. I actually have read a lot of reviews of this book where they're like, the romance, but everything else about it was great. And I feel that way a little bit. And I did roll my eyes more than a few times about the whiskey cola eyes, though I did appreciate.
Did they use the phrase more than once?
Yes,
oh,
I know.
Okay.
But do you know what I appreciate is that it was somebody with brown eyes. And so often when we're talking, so often they're blue or hazel or green, or, oh my gosh, in Twilight, the number of ways, liquid topaz, honey eye, everything. It's a whole thing. I know it's a thing. But yes, the phrase whiskey cola eyes was thrown about a couple different times. But
despite that, you loved it.
Despite it, I loved it. Yes. I thought, yeah, whiskey cola notwithstanding, I liked the characters in this book, particularly the female lead. She was good.
Excellent. Okay. I finally read 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle.
Oh.
It had been recommended a bunch. I just didn't catch it the year it came out, and so I didn't. I hadn't read it before, but it's a mystery told by from the perspective of a individual who kind of body shifts around a murder. So he doesn't know who the murderer is, but it's somewhere on the estate, like someone on this estate has been is a murderer. And he jumps around from body to body over several days trying to figure out.
Is it Groundhog Day where it's the same day?
It's the same. No, he jumps around in time too. And that's one thing that I struggled a little bit with it. I had kind of a hard time putting together I had to
like the timeline.
Pause and think where this fell in the timeline because it jumps around. And so the more he knows, the more he can like ask questions and try to get to the bottom of it. But later on, he'll know less than he knew earlier on. And so it's a little confusing. It was good and a lot.
Yeah.
It was different from a lot of the things that I've read before and really well done. And it had been just recommended so many times. So
I enjoyed this one.
I need to read that.
I have, when you listen to audiobooks and you do things, every once in a while you start to associate certain books with the things. Oh. So I just have to tell you that 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, that's the right title, right? I will forever associate with ironing tablecloths for the Valentine's Ball. Because I definitely made it like halfway through that book. Ironing tablecloths and overlays.
That's funny.
For the Valentine's Ball.
Yeah. You got a last one?
I have a last one.
Okay.
It is, I gotta flip my paper over. This is one actually I've talked about before. We've talked about. I believe you recommended it to me.
Oh, excellent.
And I read it. I've done a 30-second book review of it on our social media. So you get to hear me talk again about The Wedding People.
It was fun.
By Alison S. Pack. I did look up how to pronounce her name.
Excellent.
That's how it is. So, Phoebe Stone is just done. Her marriage is over, her career is stalled, and her beloved old cat Max just died. With seemingly nothing left to live for, she puts on her best dress, books a stay in her bucket list hotel, and makes a plan to end it all. However, upon check-in, she finds herself in the middle of a multi-million-dollar wedding extravaganza, and the bride tells her in no uncertain terms that she is not allowed to kill herself during her wedding week. Not one to go against a bride's wishes, Phoebe quickly finds herself right in the middle of the wedding people and all of their drama. This irreverent comedy is about relationships lost and found, dreams made and forgotten, and as Phoebe makes her way through this whirlwind week, she realizes that sometimes what seems like a sad ending might just be a sweet beginning.
Very good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thought about mentioning the Tamagotchi funeral sometime in there. This book is so funny.
It is really funny.
It's so good. And all of those things that I just said.
Yeah, we had it in our book club, and we had some people that weren't sure about the suicide plot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which that's fair.
That's fair, but it's still made for a really good book. I really liked it.
It did.
I think my last one that I'm going to do was another book I read with my daughter, because it was interesting to go back and read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl. We decided to take her to the play. So I was like, let's read it first. And she loved it. It was very fun. I was surprised at how Roald Dahl describes people. And all of the bad people are fat. And all of the good people are thin. And then I started reading Matilda, and I ran into the same thing, and it kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
But still, my daughter loved it, and we really enjoyed the musical, and it was really fun. I am just not sure. I might try some other Roald Dahl with her.
My kids like James and the Giant Peach. We read that this year, though I didn't feel like I could include it in my Goodreads tally because I slept through most of it.
Yeah. I thought about going to that one. The Three Witches. Is it Three Witches? Or no, it's just the Witches. The Witches. I've heard is another fun one to read with kids. I didn't read a lot of Roald Dahl growing up. I'd read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't think I'd read Matilda.
The BFG. Actually, the BFG might be my favorite. It's fun and funny and less fat phobic.
We're reading The Goose Girl right now. And I was going to stop reading it because I felt like it was just too literary for her.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know she's 7. And I felt like she was asking a lot of questions that, do you know what's going on at all? But I was like, let's switch. Let's read something else. And she's like, no, we're reading this.
We're reading The Goose Girl.
So we're still reading it. And I think she's getting more into it. But
yeah. I love The Goose Girl.
It's kind of hard to find. I don't know. I'm not a children's literature specialist at all. I read adult novels. So finding appropriate things and things that engage my daughter, it's been kind of a journey that I'm still on. Yeah, it's hard. I've gotten really good at finding books for me. I was looking at this, going through my list. I read over 100 books last year, and I liked almost all of them. I think maybe there were 5 that I gave a 2 on my scale of 1 to 5. Didn't really like it because I'm pretty careful. And if I really hate it, I stop reading it.
Yeah.
So,
I actually did not have that. With the exception of these books, I actually read a lot last year that I felt like was just okay. I read that. But
I thought that until I went through my list.
And then you were like,
I was feeling better about
these are fire, all of them.
Some of the ones on mine were books from book clubs that I read and don't always love.
Yeah.
I don't always pick the books.
That's true.
It's fine, but it's good for me to read. It's good to get outside your comfort zone and try something a little different.
I did read 2 nonfiction books this year because of book club. So, and they were good.
They were good.
I mean, yeah.
I like nonfiction.
Okay.
All right.
Do we want to talk anything about what we're reading currently?
Oh, I forgot to
save that.
Look and find out. I could
We can
cheat
save
and
it for
We'll save it. We'll
save it for another time. We'll talk about enough books. So hopefully your year of reading was as delightful as ours, and we'll see you next time.